So guess what? Today I had a classic Chris kind of evening. Yes, you guessed it right. Netflix and chill. But hold on, it wasn't just the good old Dom and popcorn combo. I went ahead and actually made popcorn at home. Surprised, aren't you? For the record, yes, I can cook. Or at least popcorn is within my culinary skill set now. And let me tell you, it's something else. The satisfaction of making it yourself and then seeing it pop up in the pan is actually pretty fun. I decided to watch this super hilarious series, Silicon Valley. Man, it's a blend of techie humor and everyday startup life. Served on the side of my homemade popcorn, it was absolutely brilliant. It's nice, drifting away from reality and just immersing yourself into a comedy which ironically yet oddly resembles our day-to-day life. You ought to give it a go, mate. Only be prepared for moments of tragicomic reality checks. And you know what else? I was chatting with Rachel and Sam about it, and guess what Sam said? He's putting dibs on food AI as our next big startup idea. He added, and I quote, "I'm in. Can you believe it? I mean, given how I managed to pull off the popcorn, I might start considering the idea." And the popcorn wasn't even the best part. You remember our discussion on trying new things? Well, guess who's leveling up his cooking game? I might even learn to bake French baguettes next, courtesy of Rachel and her timeless recipes. You see, today's Netflix session was not just about taking a break, it was so much more. It was about connecting, innovating, and considering the improbable. We often discuss how everyday moments, these tiny life experiences, are what fuel our creativity, right? I mean, today was a classic example. I had a Netflix evening and ended up contemplating a new startup idea. I used to consider my routine of morning coffee at 12 and 6 monotonous. But now, the caffeine-infused conversations and the creativity brewing in those moments, they've become sort of a lifeline. Speaking of brews, I wonder if homemade cold brew is as satisfying to make. I might try making one this weekend. You have any tips? And, oh, do you remember that cold brew you made last summer, man? That was something else. But hey, don't worry. I'm still the same old tech geek. For now, the Samurai Code Cave or the Parisian Kitchen, whichever they may be, await. So I hopped down to this interesting alumni get-together at Berkeley today. Yeah, the old battleground. Who would have thought, right? It was almost surreal stepping on the campus, our campus again after such a long time. Well, some things never change, like Dr. Johnson's enthusiasm for tech. We had some deep discussions on the impacts of blockchain, I tell you. And just that site, the site of where it all began, around familiar faces, the memories. It was like a highlight reel of our undergrad days playing out in my head. The best part about these gatherings is the networking, the diversity of thoughts, and meeting all these people, who are on to something exciting or cutting-edge, some solid, groundbreaking ideas on blockchain pop it up, right up our alley, huh. Speaking of old times, do you remember Sam's affinity for the weirdly brilliant? Well, he's pitching blockchain-secured escargot delivery as our next venture. It's classic Sam, right? Turns out, French delicacies seem to be the flavour of our chats recently. The other day, Rachel decided to embark on the escargot tasting journey. Snails for dinner, fancy but yuck. But hey, as they say, to each their own. Nothing against a little bit of cultured cuisine, but I'd still pick my evening pancakes over posh snails any day. That does make me think, though. All our quirky, crazy little conversations and experiences do somehow end up giving us fresh perspectives. We started Neural Nest with a nerdy dream and a crazy idea, remember? Look where that's taken us. So, who knows? Maybe there's something to the notion of market penetration for escargot after all, just like Sam was joking. Okay, my friend, speaking of Neural Nest, I got to get back to it. So today, I had the weirdest but pleasantly surprising matchup in one of my Go sessions. This random fellow at Central Park of all places decided to play me. And man, did we battle it out. For a solid 2 hours we traded moves, it was as if our life depended on it. Between our intense trades of Go stones, the dude actually knew his way around classical music, Imagine my surprise when he started talking about Bach like he's some music scholar. It was such an unexpected blend of my love for Go and a completely out-of-the-blue lesson in classical music. I must admit his playlist did provide a great backdrop to the game. It was as if each of our moves were being played out on a giant orchestra. Quite dramatic if you ask me. We even joked about creating a new theory on music influencing strategic games. Now, speaking of philosophers and music, Rach and Sam went all Socratic on me in our chat today. They were quite amused hearing about today's Go session. It was quite a switch from our standard tech talk, you know? Rach ended up asking me to choose between Beethoven and Bach. Can you believe? It felt like standing on a battlefield. And guess who I picked? Bach. You know my stance on stereotypical choices. Sam even ended up calling me a trendsetter for my choice. Quite a day, eh? Seems like Sam has already started seeing me as big classical music buff or something. The whole conversation had a certain warmth to it, you know. Where the digital met the traditional and then the cultural. Who would have thought classical music would spark such a hearty debate? Also learned that Sam has been developing this newfound love for ramen. I mean, cooking it from scratch and everything. He's surely reaching new culinary heights. And here I am, falling behind on the cooking front, relying heavily on delivery for survival. But hey, I managed to make popcorn. That counts for something, right? Now this might seem like a deviation, but the more I ponder upon it, the more I realize how even the smallest of interactions in our lives play a significant role in shaping our thoughts and actions. Just like how today, a Go session blended with classical music ended up transforming into insightful discussions with friends. And all this indirectly influences our creativity and innovation at Neural Nest, doesn't it? I'm telling you, if we manage to tap into the essence of these daily experiences, we'll surely stumble upon some path-breaking ideas for our venture. Well, enough for now, my friend. With the casual Mozart fan signing off for today, I should probably get back to cracking the codes that are waiting for me.